If ashwagandha only lived on shelves as a chill pill, this would be a short lesson. It is a biologically active Ayurvedic shrub extract, usually root or root leaf material, promoted for stress, anxiety, sleep, fertility, and athletic performance. Xai's useful framing is that many human trials exist, yet a lot are small and mixed, so popularity is running ahead of certainty about who benefits, which extract matters, and by how much those stress or sleep signals actually move in real life outside study clinic.
Okay, but YouTube makes it sound either miracle or poison. When creators talk about unique benefits and how to take it, what should a normal viewer actually be listening for instead of that absolute tone, Andrew? Is it sample size, extract identity, or the exact outcome being measured?
Ashwagandha is Withania somnifera. Xai highlights bioactive withanolides linked in research to anti-inflammatory and antioxidant activity, and LiverTox notes commercial extracts often arrive as 150 to 600 milligram capsules taken 1 to 3 times daily. That dose spread already tells you 2 bottles labeled ashwagandha could be very different chemistry and exposure, even before branding language enters the chat. This is not a vitamin deficiency story. Adaptogen research talks about stress response pathways, especially resilience under load through routes that include the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis rather than replacing a missing nutrient. A systematic review of randomized trials reports reduced stress, anxiety, and depressive symptom scores with ashwagandha, plus a dose association with stress change, while still calling for better trials on the most effective dose and duration before anyone treats it like a daily default.
So if someone feels wired all day and then doom scrolls into bed, are they the best fit user for that stress signal? Or does the research mostly work in people who already look calm on paper and just want a subtle edge for productivity culture?
Sleep claims often ride on that same stress pathway rather than a knockout hypnotic story. In one randomized insomnia study, 300 milligrams of root extract twice daily improved sleep onset latency, sleep efficiency, sleep quality, and anxiety scores over 10 weeks compared with placebo. That is useful, but it is still selected insomnia and anxiety patients, not proof every tired person suddenly gets hotel sleep from any capsule on a grocery shelf.
Is ashwagandha acting like a sedative that knocks you out, or more like turning down the day's alarm system so sleep can happen? Because those two stories totally change how I would judge whether it is working after a couple of weeks of consistent use.
Exercise claims are real enough to discuss, but narrower than gym ads imply. A 3-level meta-analysis found an average performance improvement around Hedges G of 0.47, clearest for aerobic endurance, while strength was less certain and power evidence stayed sparse. Prediction intervals crossed 0, meaning future trials will not all look the same. A low-dose endurance trial and a 600 milligram athlete study also report fitness or recovery signals in healthy adults under training stress, which is promising without becoming a bulk and strength guarantee.
In team sport preseason work, I keep hearing about cortisol and recovery scores. Does the athlete research actually show stress biomarkers stabilizing under training load? Or is that just another way of restating the same calm claim with a jersey on and a fancier chart?
Male hormone and fertility talk travels even faster online than the sleep claims. Reviews suggest possible reproductive adjunct effects through antioxidant and stress axis routes, including signals around sperm quality or gonadal hormones in some studies. That remains adjunct evidence. It is not a substitute for evaluating sleep debt, training load, alcohol, medications, or clinically low testosterone with a clinician who can actually measure the problem instead of guessing from supplement aisle.
Bottles say root extract, branded root formulas, leaf blends, 30 milligrams, 600 milligrams. If trials use different standardized extracts and different daily totals, how is a shopper supposed to know whether their capsule matches the study that sounded convincing on a podcast last week?
Judge it like a stress experiment, not a vibe. Pick one target, usually perceived stress or sleep onset. Give a study to extract enough consistent weeks, and watch for a clear change in that target while holding bedtime and caffeine steadier than usual. If nothing meaningful moves while sleep, stimulants, and training stay chaotic, the capsule is probably not the missing chapter of the story, and continuing by habit alone is a weak plan.
There are whole videos titled The Dark Side of Ashwagandha, separating scare content from medicine. What liver warning is actually evidence-based enough that someone should stop and get checked instead of just switching brands or calling the symptoms a detox phase.
LiverTox says ashwagandha looked broadly safe in trials without clear enzyme elevation signals. Then case reports of clinically apparent injury appeared with commercial products. Injury often shows 2 to 12 weeks after starting, usually cholestatic or mixed, with jaundice and pruritus that can linger even after stopping. Rare severe outcomes, including transplant-level injury, matter most when pre-existing liver disease or cirrhosis is already on the table. So those users need a clinician conversation first. Pregnancy is a hard pause lane. Historical abortifacient claims are contested, and a teratogenicity review calls the evidence inconclusive, which is exactly why pregnancy is not the moment for self-experimentation with a biologically active herb. Autoimmune disease, thyroid disorders, sedative medications, and known liver disease also deserve clinician review before anyone borrows a roommate's bottle, because wellness influencers sounded confident on camera.
What about people already taking magnesium night powders, GABA gummies, and a separate hormone optimizer from the same checkout cart? Is stacking calm products just inefficient theater, or can it quietly change the risk picture and make side effects harder to trace back to one product?
Here is the fair closing rule. Ashwagandha earns attention for stress and sleep signals in selected adults, with more modest and uneven exercise effects. It does not earn blind daily loyalty. Choose a studied extract for one target. Watch weeks, not days. Keep sleep and stimulant variables honest. And treat yellowing skin, dark urine, itching, or severe fatigue as stop-and-call symptoms rather than detox drama. That is how you respect both the useful stress signal and the safety layer at the same time.